Dave here from Amplify, and I'm talking to William Le Brun. Is that right? Le Brun?
That's right. Yeah, Le Brun. It's French actually. Le Brun, you can say if you're
Really? And where's that come from? What
French.
what part? No, but what part of France?
North.
Up north.
Up north.
It's
Yeah.
it's a pretty cool place. Have you come from there, or you live here?
No, no. I always lived here, but I've been meaning to go there and visit. I
Oh,
don't
it's the
know if
best
I've got
place.
family still there, but
France country is the best place in the world. Paris itself's a little bit stiff, but France country is just magnificent.
no, it is.
All right, let's go. Let's find out something about you in this limited time we have. Uh,
Yeah.
have you always wanted to be an artist?
Oh yeah. Since I
When
was
when when did that songwriting bug turn up?
I mean, since I was a kid, I was always behind the piano, behind the guitar, whatever it was. I was always immersed in music, so I loved it. I always used to with my music teachers at school, I would always bug them and say, "Hey, I've got this song idea. I've got." So it just developed and developed, and then it started with the stage, and then it started, in the living room right here, putting on performances for family, and it just grew. I got more confident, and then yeah, the rest is history, really.
Was it a parents thing? Piano teaching and all that sort of stuff. Do your lessons and that, or was it something that was more self-driven?
I mean, I guess it was always the parents were always saying, "Do your scales, William," and I'm there rolling my eyes, but
Yeah.
but
Well,
yeah, but that's how you start. You got to learn
yeah.
basics, I guess. But it was always they were very encouraging, and I was always listening to music, whether in the car on holidays. Yeah.
Parents have a musical background.
Mm, I think I actually just found this out the other day. I think one of my aunties used to be some really good singer or something. And I just saw a video. I was like, oh my God, is that
Dame
right?
Nellie Melba. You
Yeah.
find out that she toured the world, and you
Yeah,
find
no. Well,
at the
this that's
funeral, you find out because of the montage on the wall or something like that.
that's it.
Right.
Nice.
Okay. So briefly describe your journey to date, and tell us how this idol must have put a big hump in things.
I know. I mean, I think it was a year ago, and when I did nearly a year ago, and I remember putting in that application around this time a year ago, and I remember how I wasn't sure whether I really wanted to do it, and I kept on seeing it pop up on my social media. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to give it a go. And then I got his email back. I did all the stuff you do prior to going on television, and then next minute I knew I was in front of three celebrity judges. I couldn't believe it. Even the moment I walked out, I was like, "Oh my God, William, what the hell is happening right now?" So it was very surreal. That's for sure. But it was fantastic. I knew that's where I wanted to be because I've always dreamt of doing something like this since I was younger.
And it potentially changes things. It can be positive or negative because it could basically give you an expectation that
Yeah.
doesn't get delivered or an expectation that does. How long have you been playing for? How long have you been performing for, live performing, all that sort of stuff?
I got into it professionally around maybe only really 3 or 4 years ago. I started doing it
So
professionally.
COVID.
Yeah, really. I started in COVID. Actually, you know how it started? It just started with karaoke sessions with the family. I think every Wednesday night or something, we'd all have a karaoke jam. And then I thought, hang on, I could do weddings or something like that. And I just started doing weddings and things like that. And it just grew and grew. And my confidence grew. I performed in front of bigger audiences. I did some corporate stuff. And I thought, I really like this. I love putting smiles on people's faces.
And who was your person at Idol? Who was looking after you?
In terms of what judge,
The judge. Yeah.
who was I think Marsha always had a soft spot. I think for like I know from the get go, like I mean, everyone's nervous when they go to the audition room. So I remember, she just gave me that look to, before the audition started to just gather all my thoughts, collect myself,
Right.
and do it
Yeah.
properly. And then obviously getting the fast pass, which was crazy. I did not expect that. I remember getting out there was the audience was packed. I mean, it was very daunting, and then
Surreal.
yeah, very surreal, and then getting that. So I have to say, Marsha.
And were they before we move on, were they approachable? Is it a place where you do get, a lot of to and fro sort of communication, or is it more a stage sort of just a moment here and a moment there?
No, they're fantastic. I mean, even before stage, you might have a bit of a word or two with them, and they're funny. Like even Kyle, on the TV, he can be all, but backstage he's a really friendly guy. He's very approachable. Same with Amy and Marsha. Like they're
Good
really
stuff.
kind-hearted people, I have to say, and they're funny as well. So
Okay, how would you describe your sound? Australia's own king of swing.
yeah, the king of swing. Oh, that's a big name, but I'd say I love blending in contemporary pop with your old school swing sound, jazz sound, and stuff like that. I mean, that's my new singles. Pretty much that's pretty much what I had in my head when I did it. I wanted to blend those two things because that's really what I was doing on Idol. I had these pop songs and I would twist them into my swing style, and I had so much fun doing it. So I'd say that.
And have you maintained the fans stuck around since Idol, like the people you picked up and all that? They're still
Oh yeah,
hanging
yeah.
in?
I mean, I just did finish two shows in Melbourne only a couple of weeks ago, and that was fantastic. I mean, the turnout was great. We were sold out in Melbourne and pretty much nearly sold out anyway in Geelong, and the fans were just incredible. They were all
Fantastic.
every week, all this stuff, and it's just very special to see that many people loving what I do, and then coming to the shows and things like that. So yeah, definitely.
What about who's inspired you? What inspirations did you have as you're, coming through, and who are the people that are motivating you to, keep going, the artists?
I mean, I think my parents definitely are my biggest support. They're always, whether, I'm performing in front of 50 people at a very, very small wedding, intimate wedding, or in front of, millions of people on the TV screen. They were always there, and coming up and to and from Sydney every single week. So they make a big sacrifice, but I've got to say, yeah, my parents and my family. I mean, that's really your rock. The people who will always believe in you and be behind you no matter what. Even sometimes if you might be really bad and they might pretend that you're really good. but yeah.
And yourself, do you have a pretty strong constitution, or because you're pretty young, so
Yeah.
you'd expect that the old thoughts and mental health would sort of play a part in all this sort of drama, because it's a big occupation, really.
Yeah, well, it is, especially, I mean, even getting up on TV, you're opening yourself up not only to, being seen by, the nation, but, there's public scrutiny, there's things like that. There's always someone that's going to have an opinion. There's social media, and there were quite a lot of us young ones on Idol. I mean, we had really, we had Eilish, we had Gisela, we had John, and I guess we all sort of, us young people, how would I say? I mean, I'm 21, so I'm not old, but I'm sort of like in the middle there. But we sort of made our little group, and we all supported each other, because it's that sort of time where everyone's going to have their opinion. You're going to have to that's just the reality of it. But you just got to believe in yourself. At the end of the day, if you like what you do, if other people are loving what you do, I mean, if one person says one bad thing, doesn't matter. I'm here to put smiles on as many people's faces as I want. But yeah, I mean, it's always, but you just have to deal with it. I do I do it because I love it.
And the
Yeah,
artists that inspired you.
definitely. Definitely, I think you can't go wrong with Elvis. The legacy he's had. I mean, look, they've made a film about him. His music is timeless. You see his music was made so many years ago, and now it's been reconstructed. You've got some of these songs that have been turned into these contemporary songs with his voice and his sound behind it. And Frank Sinatra's the same thing with him, and Nat Cole King, all those greats, which I admire. I love what they did, their sound, and yeah.
Okay, your latest single, "Drowning in
Yeah.
Diamond," or your debut single, "Drowning in Diamond," just been released. What's it all about? Give us
Oh,
origin and
it's
evolution.
when I wrote it. I mean, I think it was the whole meaning and story of this song is you've seen this person at the bar, this really attractive girl, or this person, and you're too afraid to go and talk to them. You love them, you already love them, you've fallen in love, you imagine this whole life that you're going to have with them, but you can't find the courage to say, come with me to Paris, London, or Rome, wherever you want to call home. Let's go make a life together. But it's basically it builds up, and then towards the end, I guess you sort of build the courage and you go up to them, and yeah. So I guess that's the meaning, to put it in simple terms. But yeah, that was the whole thing behind the song, making it almost a James Bondy type of song with all those sounds, those horns and contemporary sounds too. But I have to say, I had a lot of fun putting that one together. That's for sure.
Is there an EP or album on the drawing board?
There is, yeah. We're currently writing it now, so we've got there's an EP right now. So hopefully that should be out October. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So we're working towards that, and that's really building on what I've already done. I want to show people some other stuff that they might not know about me.
Keep feeding them.
Correct. So exactly.
Okay, so you just finished your first headline show at Marvel,
Yeah.
is that right? And
Right.
which was a sold out affair, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
What tours and events are coming up? What are you looking forward to? What can the fans expect?
Oh, the fans can expect some more shows around the country where we're working around the clock to try and get some really good dates and good venues. I really want to go to Sydney. I know so many people have asked me for Sydney shows, for Gold Coast shows, Perth and Adelaide and Tasmania. So we're working really hard to make that happen because that's what I wanted to do. I know the first thing that I said when I came off the show, I says I want to come and visit you all. I want to say thank you for all your support and put on some shows there.
Good, good. And if you could perform with any music artist, alive or dead, who would you choose? Sounds like the big E sort of came out.
The big Elvis.
Yeah.
I think so. If yeah, that would be extraordinary.
And here's my friend. Yeah, yeah. Besides
Imagine there in I don't know.
one of those. What was that movie with Gaga?
Oh
The
yeah, Shallow. That song with
yeah,
Chris.
yeah. Imagine being called side stage.
There
And
you go.
you got an
Yeah,
Elvis thing going on, and he calls you out, and away you go. No,
yeah.
that'd be pretty cool.
Or imagine a Buble. If he came back to
Oh,
Australia, a support act.
oh. Well, there you go. Start talking about it and put it in people's minds. You never know what's
That's it.
going to happen.
You never know.
Okay, what are your long-term aspirations? I mean, at 21,
Yeah,
I can tell you from a conscious perspective, you're going to have 4 or 5 lives where you think where you are, and then 10 years later, you're going to look back and say you were nowhere close to where you are, and 10 years later, and 10 years later, etc. It's the way life unravels. So,
yeah.
what aspirations have you got at the moment?
Well, I think it's just making music that pleases people. It's putting on shows. It's building myself. I mean, I've got so much to learn. I've just come off this Australian Idol, this huge TV show. It's so many people have seen it. So many people have loved it. So I guess it's just building on that and just building myself as an artist, building my sound, and revolutionizing what people think of that.
And it's a bit like you can feed someone a feast, but if you don't feed them after that, they go hungry. So you've just given them a feast in idle, but you've
Yeah,
got to go out there and feed them, and you've
that's
got to feed them pretty quick, or they go hungry. So I'm sure there's a demand in yourself to sort of say, come on, let's go and let's make sure we take advantage of all these people.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's all about. I mean, it's a beautiful thing that to be. It's a privilege and such a honor, I guess, to be someone in my shoes to be able to do that and make people happy, and to know that there's people out there that want to see you live. And every time I post something on my comments, I always see people saying, "Please come to Gold Coast, please come to Sydney." And I go, "I am trying. Trust me, I'm trying to."
You'll
So
get there. You'll get there. Okay, what's the best thing about performing to a live audience? What did you find at Marvel?
the best thing, I guess, is connecting with the audience. The thing I treasure the most is seeing whenever I put on a song and people's eyes open up, or they tap someone and they go, "Oh, he's performing that song. That's my favorite. That's my favorite." Things like that, and meeting others as well, the fans afterwards. I always like to go and say a little hello to everyone and thank them. So that's always very special.
Yeah, you're just 21, man.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Did I ever think?
It's very young.
No, I never
And
thought.
there's to some degree, consciousness is about living in the moment, no matter what age you are. So if
Yeah,
you collaborate with the moment, you're fine. But the hard part about being young is you're conditioned, and you sort of keep on looking at all these big bright lights everywhere
yeah,
until you realise that your light's the bright one, and you've got to keep on focused on that.
yeah, exactly.
It'll be an interesting sort of time.
Yeah,
What advice would you give? Even though you're 21, you've just been through a process where you've faced a few devils, the big crowd, the big audience, the idol and stars,
yeah.
and having to turn up and perform. It's not like you can sort of say, I'm sick, I'm not coming down tonight or anything like that. What advice would you give to people who are in a similar situation, just starting out and thinking about, moving forward?
Well, I guess it's just about never stop believing. There's going to be moments where you think, oh, nothing's happening, nothing's working. It's not working out. I mean, all this work for nothing. So it's always that moment you got to just keep on going, keep on hustling. You see these artists, they put tens of years into, years and years and years of work, and they still get nothing. And but then after, a little bit more of hard work, it does eventually come. So
Yeah,
I guess
that's right. That's right.
that's
Overnight successes are like 5 and 10 year stories.
correct, correct,
Doesn't
correct.
I've spoken to many of them.
Rome wasn't built in a day, as they say.
It wasn't. It wasn't. That's for sure. All right. Okay. So we're going to do some finish off with some, a few minutes of some quick fire questions, some different
Yeah.
things, so people can sort of get an idea about who you are.
All
So,
right.
what's the craziest thing you've ever done? Now you're only 21, so you haven't had much chance to do anything crazy, but there must be something crazy in there you can tell us about.
Crazy.
Legal, if possible, because we don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, I know. Otherwise, I'll be, yeah. What's the most craziest thing I've ever done? Well, I have to say, for me, the craziest thing I've ever done was actually auditioning for Idol. I mean,
Yeah, I always have thought, that's a pretty big step.
yeah, yeah. Just as someone, did I ever think when I was that little that I was ever going to do something at my age? And I'd never, ever, ever thought that. So, yeah, I got to say that.
What's the topic you can talk about for hours?
Oh, food.
Really? Do you
Mm.
cook?
I love to cook. I love to cook.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I'm making a lasagna tonight, so hopefully that.
So we're going to have a musician cook show, bit like what's his name from Melbourne, the footballer from Melbourne that has
Oh,
his
Christian Petrarca.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
You're going
yeah.
to create. Well, that's it. Get a following. You don't know how,
That would be cooking and singing in the kitchen. I like that. That's a good. There you go.
Boom, we've got a new show.
Done.
It started tomorrow, and cut me in for 10% because I got the idea. What's the thing you like most about yourself?
Oh, about myself. I guess my I don't know, my personality, my voice. I don't know.
You don't, you walk around, do you like the way you look? You like the way pat dogs? Do you like,
I like, what I like. I like the way I cook, but I no look. I love my personality. I'd say my best trait, if that's
your
yeah,
warm and convivial
yeah,
personality?
yeah.
All right, let's finish off with some favorites.
Okay.
These can be now or all time, doesn't really matter. Favorite album?
Oh, mm, oh, this is a very tough one. Because there's so many. Let's say, oh, hang on. Now you've got,
People hate these questions.
I don't, because you can't pinpoint it to one. Favorite album. I'm gonna say, you know what I've been listening to recently? A bit of the Teddy Swims latest album.
He's sensational. He's coming in. He's coming out. He's sensational.
Right now, that is my favorite.
Unbelievable. When you look at him and then you hear what comes out, it's an amazing thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Favorite artist?
Um, Current or
Doesn't matter. This is your interview. Whatever you want to say.
I'm gonna say I'm a big Elvis fan, so I'm gonna stick with Elvis.
It's a big story, when you follow that one through, because that's another, huge young guy that goes out there and all of a sudden,
Yeah.
gets manipulated around and ends up dying very young. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Favorite movie?
Oh, uh, favorite movie. I'm gonna say Mission Impossible, the series. That whole thing.
There's about 25 of them, so it's a pretty big option. No, it's all right.
The latest one was quite good, actually. Oh no, I'm going to change it. Top Gun, like the second movie.
The second Top Gun.
Yeah, yeah.
Tom at his top.
I have to say that.
Favorite place to visit?
Italy and France. Oh, Italy. I love Italy.
Italy's cool. Favorite? You got Rellos there, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's a cheap place to visit. Favorite venue to play? You've only played Marvel.
Marvel. There you go.
Well, no, I mean, I suppose what are you looking forward to play? Because you must have. How do you? I can never understand. Idol's such a stage.
Yeah,
Such a massive stage with so many lights and so many, orchestra and everything that you need. It must be hard after having a situation like that to come
yeah.
back to normal
I know, because I mean, you want to put on a show and you want to have 50 dancers there with you, but you can't. It's a, sort of. But
reality.
looking at the video the other day, the stage, even on TV, doesn't look as big as it actually is. It's huge, this stage. I mean, so there's space to have literally 50 dancers if you wanted them. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's the thing. You always want to find a venue that's going to give you that wiggle room to do stuff and move
There
around.
are plenty around and
There
plenty
are.
in the world. So, favorite food?
Lasagna, you can't go wrong.
Really, pasta.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I married, I'm divorced, but I married a Italian lady, and I used to say, you can have a meat, a pasta, and every meal sort of thing. So
yeah.
pretty much was like that.
That's it.
Favorite drink?
I don't mind an espresso martini.
Oh,
Don't mind that.
favorite person in history? Have you got a Mandela or a mum or who's the person if someone said, you know, you were going to quote someone or you're going to talk about someone who's your go-to?
Who's got a good quote? There's so many. I mean, Winston Churchill's got a couple of good ones there about almost like never giving up, I guess. So I have to say Winston. Good
And
old
is it mum or dad? Who's the bigger influence out of the two?
influence. I go to both. I go to both for different reasons, but I have to say,
Very political, very
mum's
political.
always, yeah, she's always got a soft spot. I have to say, mum, yeah.
Well, Italian mums, they've always got a soft spot. I used to be a pawnbroker and
Yeah,
a long time ago, and the kids would start taking drugs, and the father would want to kick them out because they'd, empty out the house and sell stuff, and the mother would always be bringing them back in, so they go through this chain. So mums can always forgive you no matter what happens.
they can.
All right, and tattoo. Do you have a tattoo? You're a muser. You've got no tattoos though. Mum and Dad wouldn't let you, right?
Oh, I think if I came out with a tattoo, I'd be, I
Yeah.
don't know, I'd be in big trouble. Yeah, but
Okay, so
no, not yet.
that's it for now.
All right, yeah, for
I
now.
think the point I'd like to make is you're 21.
Yeah,
This is like an introduction, and I can see that you're just sort of new, if
yeah,
that's the
yeah,
right word.
yeah,
And,
yeah.
I look forward to maybe in 5 years or 10 years having another interview and seeing exactly what happened over that period, because you'll probably be sitting back with your feet up and you'll say, Mum, she let me down and I haven't gone back there, and Dad, and blah, blah, blah. And I stopped taking drugs when I was 24, and I feel like, no, you go through a whole different life experience. And I look forward to it. I think that for me, and I'll just finish sort of here, but for me, you've got to live your life, and then there's what you do. And
Yeah,
for a lot of us, what we do takes over our life. And so you've got to keep on coming back to that grounded sort of place as to who you are, no matter what happens. So you're going out there to perform to one person or a million people. It doesn't really matter because you're out there to perform and do your stuff and serve and all that sort of gear. So
that's
if you
it.
can keep that sort of outlook, well then, disappointment really sits in the same place as success and failure are basically the same things. Failure is a discovery and success is just an event. So you've got to live in between those sort of places, and it's in between those places where life lives. So I look forward to 21. You're just starting, man. So I look forward to watching you go and
Thank
seeing
you.
what happens. But you're off to a good start, so keep it up.
Oh,
I look forward to seeing what happens. Good
thank you,
luck
Dave.
with it all.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me as well.
Namaste, man. Be well and cook. I look
That's
forward to seeing the cookbook in 5 years as well.
it. There you go. Actually, that's a good idea too.
All the best. Good luck.
Thanks. Thanks, Dave. All the best. Thank you.
Bye.